What's going on, y'all? Gazer Beam 2K here with Steuben. It's the Gus One podcast. Steuben, what episode is this? Episode 14?
15. 15.
How many months is that? That's like 4, 8, 12. That's three and a half months?
Give or take, yeah. Some months have 4 weeks, some have 5.
How long are we going to keep doing this for?
Until I fire you out of a cannon and into the sun.
Oh, so pretty soon. Got you.
Yeah. We're getting to
So,
that,
man,
getting to that apex of where the sun is super hot. So
no more Gazer. But no, this is a weekend episode. We haven't done one of these in a while, man. It's usually been on a Monday, and we had those two random ones throughout the week. This is a weekend, man. I would ask how your weekend went, but it's not over yet. So
I mean, technically the weekend is over because it's Sunday evening. But it was fine. Yesterday was Emily's birthday. So I was with her all day. I got her a big strawberry cheesecake ice cream cake. And we went shopping and had lunch and dinner and whatnot. I'm making dinner later tonight again. So
what's for dinner?
Beef Korean barbecue.
I didn't know you had it in you like that. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's marinating right now, and I got the wok seasoned, and all I got to do is heat it up and roll when we're done.
Right on. Well, hey, happy birthday to Emily. Belated birthday. My weekend, since you asked so nicely.
I was going to, but sure, go right ahead.
I'm sure you were. Just like a couple weeks ago when you just asked. Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But no, my weekend went to another winter box. This one was a lot smaller. Not a lot of people showed up. There were 7 of us. So instead of a whole box, he just split the packs between the 7 of us. Like, oh, even better. Now, the same shop's doing another winter box next weekend, because it's leading up to a 1K that's going on that Sunday. So winter box on Saturday, 1K on Sunday. Anyone in the Central California area or Greater California area, Fresno, California, come through. I'll hook you up. I'll buy you McDonald's for your long travel out here.
Yeah, you got coupons. Buy one get one free, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's coming all the way from the Bay Area or from LA to this tournament, I can buy them a double cheeseburger. That's fine.
Okay. Big spender.
I mean, a little bit. I don't like to brag about it, but yeah. I told you I'm such an average Pokemon player. There were 7 people in this winter box. Guess where I finished?
3.5.
Push a little bit more.
Fourth.
Finished
okay.
4th.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
went 3-1.
You can't actually be 3.5 at a tournament placement.
Congratulations, you finished half, but no. Finished 4th. I'm so average. I switched it up for the first time ever, though. For the first time in a month and a half. I didn't play Regigigas.
It's about time.
I wish I played Reggie. I missed it so much. I played Palkia Ice Rider.
Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's got some
it's not.
Cool things going for it.
It does. It really does. I sold a list from Senor Doom, and then I changed a few cards that, to my liking. I needed another Melody in there, another Choice Belt, some more stuff. And I misplayed so hard at least once every game. But that deck is so forgiving that I was able to recover and bounce back. And I went 3-1. And everyone in that top 4 went 3-1. It's just somebody had a better record, someone had better resistance. Someone beat the winner of somebody else. Just it put me that 4th. But finished 3-1. I was able to bounce back like almost every game I screwed up in. So that deck is really forgiving. But I miss Regigigas, man.
It's time to let it go.
Never. I won't. I refuse, man.
All the crazy Twitter hype the past couple of days has been like, there's like 5 content creators and a whole bunch of people that have just been nothing but pushing Lunatone and Solrock from Pokemon Go. And like, honestly, this time I'm like, all right, I'm ready to just put Ice Cube back in every single Palkia deck that I have, just to like end their dreams at this point. Like,
I seen this Palkia deck. It did really well at NAIC. It was like took like 6th place. There was no Ice Cube in there though. It was just straight Palkia, Sobble, Inteleon Engine, Radiant Greninja. It ran for Irida, that chick.
Do you remember who was the pilot of that deck?
Yoshida.
You mean the guy that's here with us in the podcast right now?
Oh my, yeah.
Oh man,
it was him.
Here we go with this Dora the Explorer crap again. Oh my, 2 episodes in a row. Gazer's intro is Dora the Explorer / Bob the Builder related, but
can you help us find Yoshida? He's right there.
Right here.
But welcome in, man.
No,
Thanks
what's
for
going
joining
on, my
us.
guy?
Yep. Gazer Steuben, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Hey, appreciate you picking up the invite, man. We put that distress call, the bat signal out there, man, and no one came through. And you came through and said, "Yeah, I'll do it." I'm like, "Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go." He took
awesome.
top six at NAIC. Let's go.
Yeah, it's one heck of a run, and you played at Milwaukee the week before, so you had like a doubleheader weekend. I did the same thing, but I did really bad at NAIC, so we won't talk
Yep.
about that at all.
Yeah, it was an intense week of Pokemon for sure.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
So
you
yeah,
got
I
sixth
guess
place. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say yeah, at NAIC I did get sixth. Milwaukee I got 41st, I
Okay.
think. Still playing
Day 2.
Palkia.
Yeah.
Significantly different list. But yeah, it was good kind of warm up for NAIC.
Yeah, that's kind of how I treated it too. I changed like 2 cards in my deck, and then I was like, yeah, oh, I fell flat. I fell flat on my face. But yeah, it was a really good like week and a half ish of full on Pokemon. And you know, you've had some big success in the past. You want to dive into that for a second?
Yeah, sure. So I guess going all the way back, I started playing in juniors in 2008. Wasn't particularly good in juniors. Played all the way through seniors and into masters. Had a good run in seniors. Made
You went
qualified
to a
for
Worlds, didn't
worlds.
you? Yeah, you
Yeah,
went to Worlds.
qualified 3 times actually.
Oh,
And then
I thought it was just like
my
one.
final year
Wow.
of seniors, yeah, it was. Let's see, I got top 8 at nationals and top 16 at worlds in 2013 in Vancouver. And then I aged up, played less and less. Also was like not doing that well either. So eventually, just stopped playing when I went to college, and then COVID happened, of course, right afterwards. So it was like a good like 7-8 years of like not playing much at all until Salt Lake City regionals this year. So that was my first tournament, and then my other 2 were Milwaukee and NAIC. So I've only been to 3 tournaments in like the past 7 or 8 years.
What made you ultimately want
Man,
to pull away a little bit?
I guess, I'd been playing since I was like 9, all the way till I was like 15 or 16. And I was like, I want to like, spend my time doing other things. Of course, like I love Pokemon. I loved all the friends I made, love competing. But, high school was getting busier, was trying to like get into different colleges and, like play sports, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, kind of
the
just,
sports.
switcch focus a little bit. Which sports?
Typical like growing out a little bit kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, understandable.
I hate growing up.
Yeah,
I've hated it
yeah,
for the
I do
last few
too.
years. What sports, Noah?
Primarily soccer and tennis. Yeah, yeah.
I'm a
I
basketball
wasn't
guy
that good at
myself.
that. Basketball. I wish I could play basketball. Sadly, not very good. I guess I started playing soccer and stuff when I was younger. So
I did a little soccer in elementary school, and then I got into Pokemon, and I didn't want to go back to soccer practice and soccer tournaments on Saturdays.
Like, no,
I wanted
mom,
to go to
no.
Pokemon League, and eventually I won over my parents to like just get me out of it and let me do what I wanted it to do.
yeah,
So,
Pokemon teach you math and stuff. So yeah, it's good use of time.
It's a good way to spin it. I've been
sometimes.
in stores before, and I've seen a parent buying their kid Pokemon cards, and she's like, "Well, she won't read, but she reads these cards, so I'm gonna keep buying them." And it teaches her math too. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm for it. Go for it."
Yeah, get a kid to sit down and play the game and watch them like probably like mentally develop faster. Especially if they get into it and actually like play and read the rules and play by the rules instead of just playing like war with numbers.
Hmm.
That's what a
I've
lot of
seen
kids
I've seen
do.
kids do that before too. Yeah, I've seen a lot of kids do that too.
Yeah, they're like,
I mean,
well,
I guess
this
it's still
has
teaching.
300 HP. It's better than your
I don't know. Mine has
40
320.
HP.
Look,
Yeah. So
this Galarian Darmanitan has 320. Look, it's more. I win.
yeah, little Timmy and Susie on the playground arguing about numbers.
I've seen that happen before too
Mhm.
in the cafeteria and playground stuff like that. So what you're saying is I should give Baby Beam like some Pokemon cards right
I mean,
now.
I would honestly wait until like they're old enough to hold them to not damage them.
Oh.
Well, he'll be a year at the end of the month on the 30th. He'll be a year. So you think that's soon enough? Or
No. So
no?
one our local one of our local big TOs is AJ Schumacher.
Oh,
And his rule of thumb is if they can hold the cards without damaging them, they can read. Then that's good enough.
they're ready.
So usually the magic
Okay.
number seems to be 6.
Okay, so I'll wait a little bit with Baby Beam then. I'll wait a little bit.
But hey, unless Baby Beam like grows up real fast and gets real smart real quick, then I mean, whatever, bring it on.
I mean, his father is Gazer Beam, so I mean,
Yeah, okay.
you never know. But no, we are joined by Noah Yoshida. Noah, man, you're the second story in the past week soon where we hear, I got away from Pokemon, COVID hit, I got back into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into the sixth prize turn in a second, but just a follow-up question: how difficult was it to get back into the swing of things?
I don't know, mixed bag. It was nice seeing that people were still playing during COVID, like online. So I was able to, kind of figure out what cards were good, like how the game was being played right now. I scrounged together a few decks on my really old PTCGO account and, played in a few late nights. Didn't do too well, but, it was just kind of like figuring out what was going on. So that was good. I do think there is a pretty big difference between like high level IRL play and like online play. Because man, like, yeah, Salt Lake City really humbled me. I was like, I'm going to make day 2. This is going to be great. I showed up and like halfway through the tournament, I was like, wow, I've made like a misplay every single round. I've like my deck is absolutely awful. Like what have I done, So I was kind of, a little down on myself after that. And I was like, wow, I don't think, the rest of the season is going to go too well. My goal will just be, make day 2 at any of the, rest of the tournaments and kind of go from there. So it was definitely like easy in the sense of like ramping up was pretty easy. But then I do think that like, it's not any easier just because there's a lot of online play. Like it's still, you still have to grind at the game. You have to be like really smart and clever and all that kind of stuff. Really good at deck building. So that took a lot longer to kind of like, remember how to, just how to build a good deck. It's really easy just to like take stuff off of like Limitless and just play it.
Yeah.
But I think
yeah, I've seen so many people since NAIC just pick up like Sanders control deck and just fumble with it. Even like streamers that we know and whatnot, like in their stream, I'm like, what do you do? Man,
The carp earlier,
yeah.
he said the same thing. He picked it up. He said, it's not something you just pick up and it's like, all right, here I go. He said, if you see anyone who just picks up a list and just start rolling with it and, like, hey, I got this list down pat, that means either it's a really, really, really simple deck or they're lying through their teeth, he said.
Yeah, I do think there are a few players that can just kind of pick up a deck, play a few games, and instantly, kind of know how to play it and like know what's going on. But I think they're,
Really?
very
I
few
don't
and far
know, because
between.
I watch, I mean, maybe they don't stream, but a lot of streamers I watch, picking up deck for the first time, it takes them at least 2 games to really get a feel for it.
Mhm.
Someone like me who's average, it takes me about 10 games. I'm like, wait, I got it now. I figured it out. But you think there's some players out there who just can pick up a deck and just, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. At least one comes to mind. So for Milwaukee, so I had like no idea what I was going to play for Milwaukee, and I was staying with Grant Manley and like Gabriel Smart and some other players that I had like got to know through a friend I met in the Bay
Yeah.
Area. And Grant just kind of handed us. He was like, "Here's my Palkia list." I'm like, Grant's pretty good. I think I'm gonna just play this. And then, like during Milwaukee, after every round, I'd go up to them. I'd be like, "Wow, I like had 2 misplays and like one almost like game state breaking gameplay error." And then meanwhile, so Gabriel Smart's also playing the same list. I think he started 0-1, and then he went on a 10-0-1
yes,
win streak
yeah.
Mhm.
all the way to 9th, which is just insane. And I feel like, you know, we were playing the same list, and I was talking about him about like matchups. I'm like, man, like I can't beat the mirror. He's like, like I've beaten mirror 6 times. And, I think that's kind of a testament to, if you're playing the game a lot, you know what you're doing. Sometimes you can just pick up a deck and, kind of go with it. So I don't think I'm at that level at all. But, props to the people who are able to do that.
Yeah, we've had them
Yeah, you make a
both
good
on
point.
as guests on here, so learning a lot from just like the things that they have to say about a lot of different things. Just
I
really
learned
goes
about just by
show.
just sitting in the same Discord message with
Yeah.
them. I was just like, wow, just sitting here. I'm just like, yeah.
Oh my god, like a sponge, just
That's what it was.
soaking it up. But yeah, no, I mean like it just shows they put a lot of time and effort and dedication into it, and it shows,
They
and
do.
the results come through.
Hmm.
And I mean anybody can technically put the time in and grow as a player. And
Hmm.
a lot of people just take up knowledge and absorb it that way, and it helps. That's why we do what we do, to help people get into it more, or just give them something to enjoy themselves with.
Just to
Yeah.
piggyback off that real quick, it's just anyone out there who listens to this and it's helped them in any sort of way, and you reached out to myself or Steuben and mentioned it, that means a lot to us. Thank you guys so much, because I've heard things, Steuben heard things like personally, like IRL, and just the fact that you guys' feedback means a lot to us. Just know that, the fact you guys are listening. We try to find great guests who have great insight, like Noah, like Grant Mantley, like Gabe Smart, who I've met twice, by the way. I'm not bragging. I just, me and him have kicked it a couple times. But no, we we try to get good guests, and this is fun. It's fun for me and Stu, but it's also informational for us to learn a lot. And I hope you guys are picking up a lot from it too. And we appreciate the listens.
Yeah, I think that was also really cool coming back to the game. It was kind of like I was a time traveler almost. Like I really did not pay attention to the Pokemon TCG at all from like 2015 to 2022. So coming back and seeing all the content creators, like, back in my day, it was literally like 6 prizes. Like there'd be people who write for it. And then before they shut down, like the Topcut.net, like Puka
Puka.
and all of them. Yeah, he was like
Did
the
you watch that
OG.
Dark Intro Gaming?
No, I don't think so. But yeah.
People either
That
hate
was-
him or love him.
Interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was crazy seeing all like the content creators and like how much, you guys are spreading the game. So very cool to see.
Awesome. All right, you ready for the 6th prize turn, Gazer? We're gonna impulse this one.
Yeah, I got a couple already. Hopefully you don't steal any of my questions, but yeah.
We'll figure it out. So we're gonna just ask you 6 random questions. They may or may not be Pokemon related. Just blurt out the first answer that comes to mind.
Hold on, so let me loosen up first, man.
Okay, all right, Gazer. All right.
So I can. All right, gotta
Okay.
make sure we get these questions out quick.
All right, air conditioning. If you change the thermostat to a certain number, are you turning it up or are you turning it down when it says it cool?
When I'm setting it to cool.
Yes. Are you turning it up or are you turning it down?
Turning it down.
It's hot here in California, Stu. What you expect, man? Cali is hot.
I'm just making sure.
All right. Best card from Pokemon Go. Set to come out, the new set.
Radiant Charizard.
Okay.
Okay, I can get with that.
Dragon Shield or Ultra Pro?
Neither.
Okay, we'll talk about that. That's
Well,
fine.
hey.
Okay.
Yo, hot take by Noah. Put that on Twitter.
Okay.
Tweet that out. Worst card. Oh, no, okay, not worst card. Okay. Card that's overhyped. That that people think is good, but it's not gonna be good in Pokemon Go.
Probably Mewtwo, V-Star.
That's another hot take. This guy Noah's got takes.
Okay. If you could pick any deck that has seen success over the past 2 years in the online era and bring it back to a top cut finish, what would you try and revive?
So I don't know any decks before like, what was it, like October of last year?
All right. If you can pick, all right, then to change that, if something that was relevant at that point in time that's currently no longer relevant, which one would you attempt to try and make relevant again?
Okay. What would I try to make relevant? Jeez. I think just like that straight like Zacian Zamazenta deck was like really interesting, and it'd be cool if it was still playable.
They are
I know
getting V-Stars, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting
So,
V-Stars, so that might be interesting.
That could be something cool.
I remember when Zacian was like the best card in format. Remember that?
Yeah, it was
It literally did everything. It could draw your cards. It could attack. It had that sword. It did everything. Charged itself up. Good times, man. Good times. All right, last question. I had a question. I'm gonna switch it up. What is the optimal full art research to use? Which one? Willow, oak, magnolia, or juniper?
Juniper.
Juniper?
Yes.
I think I gotta go with willow, man. Juniper?
You got to remember, I'm an old school player, so Professor's research is really just Professor Juniper to me. So
I'll take it back. Before that, there was this card back in my day called Professor Oak.
Yeah, I guess I'm not that old school of a player.
So I said, I'll take it further back. You youngin'?
I may or may not be waiting for a Willow so I can play one of each in a deck.
I pulled a Willow.
Smart. Nice.
I went crazy with Pokemon Go this past weekend. I bought at least $200 worth of merch. I pulled a Willow, full art Willow, pulled the alt art Conquador, couple Mew V stars. I mean, couple Mew Vs, Mewtwo Vs, a Mewtwo V star, Radiant Blastoise. I also pulled Radiant Charizard. Steuben, you want to guess how many?
You had 4.
I had 4
Yeah, I saw.
out of 30 some
I
odd
saw
packs.
that. I was just like, wow. Um, Emily and I each got an Elite Trainer box, and then the store I work at, we didn't get the Team Leader boxes or the Radiant Eevee boxes whatsoever for whatever
Oh,
purpose.
the Eevee box is the best one.
But she grabbed 2 Eevee boxes at a GameStop for us, and she hit Zard back to back in her packs in the same box. So
Oh,
yeah, it was kind of weird. And then I opened a Valor box last night that I found because I wanted the Candela and the pin because I have it on my desk. It's my little fidget toy right now. And yeah,
that's what I'm doing
I
with
hit
Eevee
two
right now.
Conkeldurr in the 6 packs there, and I was so mad. I was like, how? How is this even possible?
She hits Zards, you get Conkeldurr.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of salty
No,
about it.
I hit 4 Zards, man. I sold one today to my local shop. Picked up $40 in store credit.
Wow, that's a
Good
really
deal.
good payout. Wow, that's like market
Yeah.
value on TCGplayer.
Mm-hmm. He was gonna give me $30 of cash. He said he can give me 40 in store credit. I already had $37 in store credit. I just added to the store credit,
What's he gonna
and I sold
sell
him
it
like a
for?
few. Yeah.
What's he? Yeah, what price is he gonna sell that at? If you paid,
No, I think this one he wants for himself.
Oh, okay. Then I mean,
Yeah.
sure, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I think this one he wants for himself. Normally he takes stuff and puts it away for mostly playable, so sell or just other stuff too. Like I sold him some bulk hollows from that set, and I sold him some playable trainers. But a lot of that stuff he keeps for himself too, or he puts away in a special binder in the back. So someone's like, "Hey, do you have any Ultra balls?" And he's like, "Yeah, hold on."
Okay.
That way no one just runs through.
Oh, we just lost Noah.
Is Noah gone? I miss him already. I wish Noah was here.
He's like, I've had enough of you guys.
I wish Noah was here. I miss him.
It just kicked me off. I don't know why. It was like, I guess I thought I wasn't talking enough. So yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Disco's like, no.
No big deal. Easy at it.
Yeah. Now, Noah, did you get anything good from you open up any Pokemon Go yet?
I have not. No, I'm probably just gonna wait until prices settle down a little bit.
And just
grab
buy
a
some
few
stuff?
samples.
All right, then here.
So you're not
let's do this. Let's do this. For people that are listening, if you could make a buy list of cards from Pokemon Go, what cards would you include on this buy list?
Yeah, let's hear
Okay.
that.
Let me go to the set list real quick.
Yeah. Kind of an
You know it's
impulse,
not Mewtwo.
random
It's not
Yeah,
Mewtwo
definitely.
because he said that's overrated.
I think it's still good, but I do think people are like overhyping it just a bit. So definitely Charizard, the Radiant one. Probably like a 2/2 line of the Slowbro, because I feel like we're reaching a critical mass of good stage ones. That
Oh,
some
for
kind of
Zoroark,
box might
yeah.
be.
I want to play
Yeah, I
Zoroark
feel
so bad,
like
man. I want to play that
we
so
might
bad.
be close. Yeah.
I'm waiting
Uh,
on Grant. I've been talking to Grant Mantley, and I'm sure you have too. I'm waiting on Grant to break that deck open. I'm like, come on, Grant, do it for us. I'm waiting.
Yeah, he really tried before for like NAIC and stuff, so
I
I'm
know.
sure he will again for Worlds. So yeah, let's see. Gyarados, yeah, Magikarp Gyarados seems really good.
4/4.
Yeah,
What
what
about
else?
Ditto?
Oh, Ditto, yes, for sure, Pick up 3 or 4 Dittos. And then I don't know, the Lunatone Solrock thing is like really interesting. I haven't thought a whole lot about it. I saw a few YouTube videos of people like cheesing people on ladder with it. I'm not sure if it's like legit or not. It seems like it could be really good though.
I feel like if VMAXs like somehow make their way back into the fray, like more on average, it just doesn't get those numbers good enough. You need what 10 energy to hit 300.
300.
So
Yeah, but I mean, if you're attacking like turn 2 though, it's probably better that you're hitting a VMAX just because you'll probably 2-shot it anyway.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
know.
almost
take a better
attack turn
trade.
1 almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
If I
I
play
feel
a
like the
single
deck is.
prizer,
Yeah, it's probably like you take one big one shot and then you just trade favorably if you're doing like 2 shots for the rest of the game. But I don't know. It does remind me of. So I don't know anything about it, but my friend Nate from the area, he got top 4 at NAIC in 2019 with Baby Blounds, and he like loves talking about Baby Blounds because he was kind of like the guy to figure it out, I guess. And it does seem almost like that, like a bunch of energy, a bunch of little small attackers. So I wonder, I bet he's gonna like try to build that. Anyway, yeah, that seems good. Yeah, Pokestop seems very interesting. I'm
it
not.
does.
I think
It
it's
does.
it's either gonna be really good or like really bad. I don't know which one. Probably depends on the deck, but yeah, I could see it being very very strong in some lists.
okay. So no Blastoise, no Venusaur, the Radiance.
Yeah, I think They'll have their time, probably just not now.
Okay, okay. But definitely Charizard.
Yeah,
What would you
yeah.
what would you include that in?
So I saw some lists on like Twitter of it was literally just like you attack with Charizard and it's like almost like Dark Box where you just try to get Charizard going like after they've taken 2 prizes and then just attack with it for the rest of the game. That seems
I've
like
seen
it could
that.
be pretty good.
Okay.
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
Um, yeah, I'm not really sure, but just being able to do 250 on a basic and eventually in the late game only needing 1 energy, it feels like it's too strong not to be be good somehow. So I'm not
Only
sure what the
problem I
final
see
deck will.
is the fact you have to just you have to keep retrieving it back. You got to route it back in every
Mhm.
time, route it back in, route it back in, be able to search it out. Which I mean, it's not hard to do. But you have to make sure you have draw support,
Just
be
give
able to get
us
it out.
rescue carrier or not rescue
I miss
carrier, rescue
rescue
stretcher.
stretcher. I
Yeah.
miss rescue
Just give
stretcher.
us
Yeah,
stretcher back and like problem solved. Charizard
make a
best deck.
stretcher, but make it for only maybe like a non-robots. Is that a thing?
But then you wouldn't be able to get Charizard.
Mm,
Oh,
yeah.
he is. Oh my
Oh, you
gosh,
know what?
he's a
Charizard
robots.
is affected by Path to the Peak. That's really interesting. Because I think late game you can get it back with Clara, kind of like you did in Dark Box with Moltres.
Hmm.
But the fact that you actually get locked out with Path is interesting.
It's true. Imagine Pat.
Yeah,
Imagine you path yourself.
yeah. Because I guess that I think one strong combo in the game right now is just Path Roxanne.
Hmm.
And yeah, if we
Oh,
talk
you're
about
not wrong.
NAIC a little bit, yeah, I'll talk a
I
little bit
played.
Yeah,
about
I
that.
yeah.
played in the local yesterday, and I had I played Mew, and I got out both games by path Roxanne. He gave me down on three
Yep.
prizes, path Roxanne, and he was stuck for like two turns, gave me enough time to finish off. And in game two, same thing happened. Path Roxanne got stuck for 2 turns, finished it off. So yeah, it's powerful. And you know about that because you run a lot of Palkia. So I do want to get into that, talk about your list a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, we are.
Uh,
Definitely, definitely.
yeah, I want to know about your list because I found it interesting. You run 4 Irida.
Yes, best supporter in the deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Besides
wait a
Roxanne.
second.
Yeah.
So yeah, give us a little rundown on your list.
Sure.
Specifically like any different takes, of course the Irida, and other things that you thought were important or weren't important or like didn't perform by the end of the event.
Yeah. So I will say I think I would play probably 59 or the same 60 if I were to go and play NAIC again. Like the same meta. So I
You
think it
said
was
59.
pretty.
What's the one card you would change?
Yeah, so Tool Jammer was pretty useless. I mean, it wasn't useless, it was always
Oh,
moderately helpful, but I do think there were some other cards that would have probably been like more impactful. But yeah, so I guess getting into the list a little bit. So okay, going back. So Milwaukee, I played Palkia. I played Grant's list. It had 3 battle VIP pass, no quick shooting. It played Zigzagoon instead. It was still 4 Irida, 4 cross switcher. So the supporter line was pretty much the same. And no candy, no capture energy. So instead we were playing like Big Charm, a few more of the like ball search outs, and also no echoing horn. So it was like a pretty vanilla list. And after the tournament, I thought, okay, I need some kind of like something to like win in the late game, because it definitely felt very aggressive early on with the Battle VIP pass and the Zigzagoon. But late game, I'd get Roxanne, and then like if a Palkia died, I would have like a very bad board state. So I think quick shooting helped in that regard. Also, just like finishing off the game, sometimes with Palkia, you're able to get one big one hit KO, and then you're not able to after that for reasons. And echoing horn definitely helped a lot there. So like stealing 2 prizes with that was always very good.
Oh yeah, echoing horn
And then,
is so insane.
yeah,
see, I
because I
felt the
guess
opposite. I didn't. I couldn't find a spot for it. I mean, I had it in the deck, but I couldn't find.
mhm,
I never had a chance to use it yesterday or Friday,
mhm,
so I took it out yesterday. I thought it'd be
yeah,
such a good card to have, but
yeah, I don't know. I definitely I think echoing horn was like, yeah, I think it's almost like you can't play the deck without it, at least this version, because I do think there
mhm.
are a few takes on Palkia, and I think it really depends on whether you're playing 4 Irida, 4 cross switcher, or no cross switcher. Because I think the cross switchers make the deck play well, I wouldn't say significantly differently, but those like important turns that you have are a lot different, I think.
Yeah,
I can see that. I
with
can see
what
that.
I've played with it, I like Cross Switcher way more than not playing it. Like I tried to play the Turbo Palkia when it popped up for a little bit, and I couldn't do it like without the cross switchers in there. And I've seen lists where it's like, all right, yeah, just play three boss. I'm like, I don't know about that. I'd rather use Irida or
Yeah,
Melanie, and then also be able to do this, or like cross switch your Path Roxanne in one turn. Like,
yep,
whoa, that's a game winner right there. Like,
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I guess like yeah, going into NAIC, that those were the kind of cards I was thinking about. I was also thinking about playing like Tool Scrapper, other like Starmie, other cards like that. And when I was, I pretty much like took most of the week off before NAIC, and I was just playing Palkia like every day, like 8 hours. And um, I I was like messing with the list a lot, and I think I started going down kind of a bad path because, like I said, I kind of like forgot some very basics about deck building, and I at one point was only running like 8 outs to Palkia turn one, which is not very good because
No,
sometimes with this
trust me.
deck, if you don't see Palkia early, you can just get kind of rolled over
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
mirror match by Mew.
yes.
Yeah. So what ended up happening actually was I was hearing on Japanese Twitter. I'm half Japanese, so I like read Japanese and try to keep up with the metagame there. And on Japanese Twitter, they always talk about this article by a team called Team Torchic there. And Team Torchic apparently like broke Palkia in Japan, and everyone from after they wrote this article was playing Capture Energy, Rare Candy, like the For Irida kind of build. And I didn't really understand why. And what I ended up doing was, for whatever reason, my card wasn't like accepted into the website with the article, and it was like a $10 paywall. So I messaged my friend from college in Japan. I was like, "Hey, could you send me this article?" Thankfully, she woke up a little bit early that day because it was like 11 p.m. In Columbus, and she like sent me the article. It's like, "Hey, like good luck." It was like 50 pages long, which was kind of crazy.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Yeah, so definitely, like, if anyone's interested, I'll probably like post the link on my Twitter or something, because apparently you can use an American credit card and get access to it. I was just like being dumb or something.
Okay.
But
I
yeah, they
haven't
go
heard
into
of
like a
like
lot of
paywalls in a hot minute in like the Western world for Pokemon, so it's kind of crazy to see that's still a thing there.
yeah,
We have some
it's
here,
this like
don't we?
website.
We
Yeah,
have some here where like this is
mhm.
the free portion. To get the rest
Yeah,
of
not
it,
as
pay
much
this,
though.
this,
Like you
this.
go
Yeah.
back like 2016, 2015, every website and all of their creators and players, it was all like, "Oh, here's two paragraphs. The rest is behind a paywall." And it was like there were so many of them though. You had like uh six prizes, Poke Beach, someone's PC. There were so many. Like and it's kind of died off as of recent now with like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter kind of just blowing
Mhm.
up.
I mean, that makes it harder, but I mean, there's still some sites like that, and even crossing over to the sports world, there's not a lot, but there's some sports sites that do the same thing. I think for any media, there's gonna be a part where you can have a paywall behind something. It's gonna be like a partial paywall. Here's half the article, or here's a good section to try to get you interested, and then now pay for the rest.
Yeah.
Now subscribe here. So I mean, it's harder with, like you said, with Twitch, with YouTube, with TikTok, things like that.
Mhm.
Just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
it seems like a lot of like the top players will write on this website, and it's nice because you only have to pay for individual articles if you want them. This one was like the most expensive I'd ever seen. It was like $10, which is
Oh,
quite a lot. Usually it's like $1 or five at most. Definitely worth it though. So anyone who wants to read, go check it out.
okay.
But essentially, like they had like a deep dive into all the matchups. And one of the things they were saying is like, very basic tenet of deck building. Like if you want your Palkias out turn one, you need to play outs to Palkia turn one.
Yeah.
And I looked at my list and I'm like, oof, like, I'm only playing 8. And like that's definitely what I felt during testing with some games I just would lose because Palkia never hit the board in time. So I ended up upping the count to Palkia outs in the form of capture energies. And the idea behind capture energy, and you'll see a lot of like Japanese players running capture energy too. The idea is that instead of VIP pass, which is a dead card in the late game,
Mm-hmm.
if you draw capture energy in the late game, you just concealed cards it away, or it's an energy attachment for Aqua Bullet or Moonlight Shuriken,
Okay.
or just something to like pivot from if you need cross switcher.
Yeah.
So you could definitely make the argument, 3 battle VIP pass is better. There was exactly one time in the tournament, I started double capture energy, and I was like, wow, if one of these was VIP pass, I would like instantly win the game. I think I still won that game, but it's definitely more of a kind of safe alternative to running a lot of VIP pass. But obviously, Bradner did really well with a high count of VIP pass. So yeah, either way, I think is equally valid. It's just how you want your deck to flow. Yeah, I did that. And then I cut back on weird techs like Tool Scrapper and Starmie. Pretty much, the article is like, Palkia is a strong deck. You don't need much to win, but you do need a few things. And I
You
think
call
one
them
of the
weird
things,
text, huh?
what's up?
You call them weird text?
Well, like not necessarily weird. Like a lot of people are playing them. Like Tord played Starmie, so I guess it's not that weird. But I think my preferred way of playing Pokemon is like playing a very good deck, a very consistent version of it, and like knowing the matchups really well, and then throwing in a few cards that you might need in a lot of different matchups. So trying not to tech for like one specific one if you can. And then just hoping that the matchups better than your opponents. So that I think that's why this list definitely resonated with me because it's very simple. I'm not like the only, I guess, like interesting cards that you don't see a lot is maybe like the rare candy, which I can get into a little bit. But yeah, I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, this is such a such a basic list. But I think Palkia is just that strong that even a basic list is quite good.
Yeah, it's high damage, low energy, accelerates energy, uh,
Hmm.
decent HP. Yeah, it's like the all around like MVP package basically.
I
Yeah.
think that energy acceleration is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is so ridiculous. The rare candy, I've been seeing that pop up more often now.
Hmm.
That singular rare candy, I've seen that pop up. Were you the first to originate that, or did that come from somewhere else, or what happened?
Yeah, that was a Japanese thing as well. So I think the only people I saw doing it online were Japanese players, and then Franco Takahashi, I think, at Milwaukee. He like lives in Japan and is, I guess, Japanese. So he kind of like talks to the Japanese players. So he was playing Rare Candy as well. And the idea behind that is there's going to be some games where you don't start Palkia and you can't get a turn one. That's just like, going to happen like 15 to 20% of games. Likewise, there are going to be games where you go second, you get one Palkia, and then they boss KO it. So you're left with no Palkias in play. So
Yeah.
it's very important in Japan, especially because most of the tournaments are best of one. Like, how do you win those games? And the idea with Rare Candy is you attach to Sobble, and then if you have like a Palkia on your bench, usually they'll try to boss and knock that out. And then after you've attached to Sobble, you attach another energy, Irida for Candy and Teleon. Candy and Teleon, and then with the Shady Dealings, you're essentially able to get two extra cards. You could get like two Quick Balls for like two Palkias, and then you're able to still attack that next turn, which is really important.
Hmm.
Because if you're going second and they get like a V Star or a V Max, Palkia is probably not one shotting that unless you like happen to get a handful of basics or like you got your battle VIP pass and like a bucket in your hand turn one. So it's okay to take the 2-hit knockout. You just want to get some damage on the board.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea with Rare Candy. It's also always good to have it. Like if you ever draw it, there's almost never a situation where you don't have at least one Sobble in play, and that immediately turns a Sobble into,
Two items
um,
or two trainers.
yeah, two trainers or like a quick shooting out of nowhere. A lot of people
True.
will do the math. They'll say, hey, like you have no Driziles in play, your bench is full, there's no damage mods coming down, and then if you just get rare candy quick shooting, that could be the difference between like winning and losing the game. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it. The Aqua Bullet thing did help a lot, and also just being able to turbo out more Inteleons was always really good.
Yeah, it's super solid
Yeah.
in concept, and I mean you proved it to a point too. So
Yeah,
uh,
I can attest too that getting Palkia out is important. I was playing Palkia
Hmm.
Ice Rider, which is different, but I mean, same concept. And if I missed the Palkia or the Ice Rider turn one, I was just so far behind. Or if I got one
Hmm.
out and I missed the second one, and then I'm playing against Mew and I get they knock it out, I'm like, oh my gosh. So you got to have outs to it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of I didn't understand why I didn't like the Arceus Flying Pikachu deck, which is actually what I took to the 1K that I kind of met Gazer at. I think the reason I didn't like that deck, and the reason I think Palkia actually is like 50-50 probably against Flying Pikachu is you need two attackers and you need them in a certain order. You have to find Arceus first, then you have to have Flying Pika out, and against Palkia you probably need two Flying Pikas, and with a Palkia, that's a lot to ask for, first of all, and then um, like Pokemon's never perfect, so you can say, oh, I'll always get two Flying Pika out, but that's never going to happen. Lengthwise, you might not get punished for it, but it's a lot easier for Palkia to just say, hey, I'll get two Palkias out, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
Versus these other decks. I think that's why Mew is actually quite, why Meloetta kind of broke Mew is people were like, I don't necessarily need to attack with Mew turn 1 and turn 2. Now I can use Meloetta, and it's still doing 280 damage.
Yeah, I lose 2 energy, but hey, I still did 240 something damage. So yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just a random thought that I had, and I think that's why it's a lot harder to make decks like Palkia Ice Rider work. But of course, like if you can, the greater flexibility in those kind of decks will obviously make the power level a lot higher.
You're right. I misplayed a few times with it, at least once a game, and there was times where I'm like just struggling to get, just draw. I'm just drawing dead. Like I shouldn't draw dead with an Inteleon deck, but I'm, missing stuff, and I'm missing it. But then just to have Ice Rider in the Mew matchup, because they one shot my Palkia. They had to dig for their, they dig for their belt and all their tablets to get the Palkia out. They don't have enough to take out Ice Rider, so it's a 2-shot. Now Ice Rider could one shot them with the I played Leon in mine. With the Leon choice belt, I one shot them, and now they have to 2-shot. It made a good trade, so it gave me the flexibility is nice. You're right, Noah. You're exactly right, but the consistency it suffers. So it's 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other. You know what I mean? It's half and half. It's like you give and take.
Yeah, and I think I definitely, as a player, I prefer the more like simple, straightforward decks, especially in like big tournaments. Weird stuff always happens. Like none of my games were ideal. Almost like there was always like I played Azul actually 3 times, and I think in all of our series I would end up bossing something and like quick shooting pass or something, because like we were both in a really awkward position, and I would just be like, I hope he whiffs like double colorless or whatever to retreat. Or I would have to attack with an Aqua Bullet after I choice belted it to make sure I 2-hit KO something, or just like really weird stuff. So I think having a deck that can kind of flexibly handle all those situations is good, but also something that's consistent.
Yeah, if you look at like the past when Arceus dropped, everybody started splashing it with everything else, like, oh, play it with Delmise, play it with this, and like none of those decks really saw like crazy success like Arceus and Inteleon did, because it's just like it's just Arceus with Inteleon for all the Inteleon shenanigans. But none of those like other ones, like the Gengar won SLC, Arceus Gengar, and then
Was that about it?
that's other than Flying Pika with
no,
NAIC.
Pikachu.
But
I mean, Arceus Duraludon also won.
Yeah.
Oh,
Milwaukee,
took second,
Milwaukee.
huh? That took second.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
no, that won.
that one honestly feels so different though, with like Mustard being able to be played in there, and just the sheer willpower in the wall that how many matchups that locks out from so many different decks. But other than that, like I just can't think of anything else that like proved itself crazy. I mean, like the Gengar was like a one-hit wonder anyways though too. So it never, it was a meta call that worked, and it was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, Flying Pikachu is probably a meta call as well. As long as Palkia stays popular, we might see Flying Pikachu pop up here and there. I thought Arceus and Delmise would pop off. I thought that might become a thing. Because the fact you could hit really hard, take out almost any V-Star, and then you also had the first attack, which could do 30 to anywhere? Or not 30, 30 times anywhere.
So you could snipe.
I thought that would be a thing, but it wasn't.
No, it never popped off.
I bought my Delmise when I heard about Gardenia coming out. I was like, oh, Gardenia, Arceus, Delmise. I said, I better go buy them now. And I went and bought them, and they're just sitting around.
If it makes you feel any better, they were probably $1, and they're still probably $1.
I paid $2.
Okay, well.
Oh. Yeah.
Unfortunate. You could have saved a little bit of money there, but whatever. It's not that much. It's not like you bought something for $20 that just fell flat on its face. So
you haven't done that before, have you?
Totally not. No, definitely not. You leave my Dark Rise alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet I think Darkrai is definitely a number one culprit there.
Uh,
I would love to make Darkrai
it
work, but yeah.
I went 5-3-1 at Milwaukee and lost my win and in.
Oh.
And then I played the 58 of the same 60 and went 0-3 at NAIC. But
Mm.
it is what it is. I didn't buy them. I pulled them. If it makes you feel any better. I kept
True.
pulling them. I kept pulling them. It wouldn't stop. So
It would stop.
it wouldn't
I
stop.
mean, that was me with Reggie's. Do you want to see my Reggie collection? I have like 10
Yeah, I mean,
Reggie
let me grab
Dragos.
my pile of bulk. It's probably full like Reggie's.
Yeah. When I played all those Reggies, like, well, I guess I'm building. And so same thing with Lilligant. I guess
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Lilligant then. So sometimes the boxes tell us what we, they dictate what we play. Unless you're Noah and you're smart and you just go by the stuff, by the singles. I'm not smart though. So, but no, Noah. Jumping back into your first season after a while.
Hmm.
I know you felt a little rusty. I know some things, it didn't click the way you wanted it to until, NAIC, which, things kind of fell
Hmm.
in order for you just too little too late, right? Um, Anything you would do differently this season? And then what are your thoughts heading into next season?
This season, I don't think I would honestly do much differently. I think, before Milwaukee and before Salt Lake City, I I don't know. Like I wish I could go back and be like remember the fundamentals of Pokemon, which I kind of felt like I forgot a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think overall it was way better than I expected in terms of like coming back. Also, like just meeting people, making new friends, seeing old friends. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any real regrets.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely lucky in that regard. I guess mainly because I only played three tournaments. Fewer opportunities to
I think
yeah
next
to mess
season
up.
more stuff will be open, more cups, more things like that. So, what are your thoughts heading into
Mhm.
next season? Then, like, what's your preparation for that? Are you play a lot of different tournaments to warm up, or
Mm.
do a lot of
Yeah,
testing with Gabe?
yeah. If you'll want to test with me, yeah. I don't know. I think so. It's kind of unfortunate. It's like back in early high school, I had so much time, but I had like no money, so I'd always play just like the same deck. But now I have like an adult. I'm like an adult. I can like buy cards. But I have a lot less time.
Time, huh?
Yeah, I think what I might actually end up doing is probably dedicate like one day a week to just like playing Pokemon after work. Probably going to like locals or something, 1 or 2 days a week. And what I really liked before NAIC was I just like kind of took the week off and just played nonstop. And I think um, I I was able to do that because I hadn't played much at all, and it didn't burn me out at all playing
Hmm.
that much Pokemon, that much Palkia.
It looks like it made a
um,
difference. Though. It looked like it really it helps. So yeah.
yeah, it did help. I think I had there are always like misplays that you probably don't catch during your games. But I know at Milwaukee I had at least like 8 or 9 like significant like game altering misplays. Whereas I think at NAIC I had like maybe 1 or 2 that I caught. I'm sure I made
Hmm.
more, but I think yeah, seeing that improvement was really good. So yeah, going back to that, I think before any internationals, I'll probably want to do something along those lines. I don't think I could take a week off before everyone, but definitely NAIC, I'd like to do that as well. Do
Good
that
point.
again. That was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think, I'll probably just go to as many tournaments as I feasibly can, while also, like keeping up with work and like personal relationships and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to go to LAIC if I get the stipend, and then definitely EUIC and NAIC. Probably going to 4 or 5 regionals, and then as many league cups as I can if they even open. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
we still have
unsure at
no
the point.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hoping that we get some sort of announcement soon.
I'm sure they're open.
I mean,
yeah. I
reporting
I
reporting for league like as like regular Pokemon League does open up for July, so
Yeah.
that's a hopeful sign. What scares me too, though, is all these new stores that popped up and have grown communities and have done 1Ks. They haven't technically had official Pokemon League until now either. And you don't just unlock cups and challenges right out of the gate. You have to go a few league seasons before it opens up that option for you to have league challenges and league cups. So I
But
wonder
I'm sure there's
if
still some
they'll.
seasoned shops though, right?
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
There's
So
definitely still some out there, and I hope their community's kept up or they've been able to keep people in the loop and contact with them and all that. But we'll see what happens. Maybe all these new places that exist, maybe they'll change how it works and just give everybody access to it. We'll go from there.
yeah, I could see that for like a one time, get everyone acclimated, welcome back kind of thing,
Yeah, who knows?
and then maybe go back to how it usually is. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm hoping
But I guess
September.
also, oh yeah, yeah, that would be really nice.
Mhm.
Because essentially I'm not really going to be like I'm not going to Worlds, so I'm just kind of, there's not much of a reason for me to like, you know, learn the meta like very rigorously right now because I know before any tournaments come out, we're going to have the like Lost Origins
Yeah.
set come out, which will definitely shake things up. So
So this is
Yeah.
kind of your downtime right now to kind of just,
yeah,
take a little time and then hit it real hard once everything starts back up.
yeah, and I do
Yeah.
think so that was kind of like tournament stuff, but I think one thing that I definitely didn't appreciate, I appreciate right a lot more now is just like fundamentals of the game. So we'll definitely be working on that. I don't want to go to another regionals and after each game be like, man, I really misplayed a lot that game.
Hey Gabe, hey Grant, what should I have done? Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
me. I think that's why I don't have a whole lot of friends. That would bug them too much. Like, hey, what should I do? How do I fix this? What do I do? Ask Steuben. I do that for you on stream stuff, right?
So yeah, all the time. How do I make OBS do this? So how do I get this? How do I turn the channel points back on?
My mom always said never be afraid to ask questions. So here we go.
Yeah, and honestly, I was doing that a lot too. I was like Grant, how do I play this matchup? Like Gabe, what am I doing here? So, yeah, I think it's you know uh using like the expertise of other people to help you is really it's a very valid thing to do. Good players are good for a reason, and if they're willing to share their knowledge with us, that's always something that's nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's tons of information out there, other podcasts, YouTube content, Twitch live streams. I mean, like, seeing Azul win NAIC just man's like, man, I feel like I should be watching his stream more and just seeing how he handles all these random terrible decks that he picks up and plays just for funny content. But like even then,
Yeah.
like you can still technically learn something from watching him
Yes, you can.
try to play those decks. So it's definitely
Yes, you can.
there's tons of information out there that people can pick up and use and abuse.
I'm not one to brag, but I saw Zul play, firsthand at a 1K, about a month ago. I'm not trying to brag about it. I mean, I stayed and he won the whole 1K and I saw it all. And I'm not saying we're like besties, but we did shake hands and it was like the little dap. It was so. I'm just saying, my bad. Carry on, Stu. But I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't have to carry on. I finished what I was gonna say.
No, I learned just watching Azul that day, and Noah, you were there too. Just watching Azul that day, I was like, man, this guy, he knows his. And I mean, it's we talk about this almost every week, Stu. Knowing your deck, being comfortable with it, knowing your outs and your matchups, and that's so important. And he had a Mew deck, and he beat Duraludon at this 1K, and he ended up beating the Darkrai, or is it Eternatus?
I think there's an Eternatus deck.
It's Eternatus. Yeah, he beat a terrible matchup at that 1K, and just he knew his outs, his line of play, what to do, and just knowing your deck in and out is so important. And that's a big deal, man. Like I told you, I grabbed Palkia Ice Rider this weekend. First time I just played it, and I was like, okay, it's an Inteleon deck. I get what I need. I know what to do. And I didn't. And there were so many times I'm like, I gotta admit it. One time I pathed myself. I Roxanne pathed. I was like, okay, time to use Starport. Oh yeah. But I was able to get out of it. It's so unpunishing, Inteleon. But just knowing your deck inside and out, and that's so important. Like Stupid, I know Darkrai's not the top tier deck, but you know your deck well enough where you can,
yeah.
at
And I
least
mean, like
compete.
I have other decks, so I'm not a one trick pony. Like I've got Mew, I've got Palkia. I built that Mad Party deck from stream the other night just because I had it all laying around, and it's super funny and super fun. It's not serious.
Bad party. Wait. Is there one Ditto?
Yeah. YouTube video out tomorrow.
Oh, you have the Dittos already?
Yeah. We got a couple. So
I pulled one. You guys pulled a couple?
yeah. We traded for one, and I pulled one, and Emily pulled one. So
Oh, lucky
we
guy.
each got to peel one, and then I traded for one that was already peeled. So
That peeling feels so good,
It
man.
was it actually feels bad. It feels
What do you
bad.
mean? It felt so
Like I
good. What do you
couldn't like
mean?
it wasn't so just easy to get the corner to pop open like to start.
Mm.
They were
I grabbed
stubborn.
mine just
Yeah,
mine just came. Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
not that easy. I had to like kind of like fingernail it a little bit to get there.
Mm.
Did you say you fingered it?
Makes me
What?
want to buy packs for Pokemon Go just so I can like find the Ditto. It
It
seems like
No,
yeah, it's a
there's no,
really
there's nothing like it.
it's a really fun set to open. I mean, I've played Pokemon Go almost hardcore, except for PvP. I don't touch. Um, and yeah, the artwork and all the callbacks, like the Bibarel with the Smeargle right in the front with the photo
Photobomb.
bombs.
The Chansey, not the Chansey,
Blissey
Blissey
as the gym
on
defender.
top of on top of the gym.
Yeah, yeah. The
That's
gifts,
fun.
the buddies. Like, there's so many cool little like interesting things. Like, like yeah, okay, egg incubator, it's stupid, but like, man, those incubators in Pokemon Go, man, those are your best friend. That's where all your money comes from, all your Stardust hatching eggs.
Super incubators are the way to go.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know all the lore behind the set, so that's
Yeah,
really cool
yeah.
that
So
they're
for people
doing
that have
that.
like been into Pokemon Go and played it, yeah, it's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's very specific reasons as they why they picked every single Pokemon in the
Hmm.
set and every card. So it's really cool.
Yeah, there's a reason why you can only get the Ditto from Numel. Was it Numel, Spinarak, and
Bidoof.
Bidoof? Yeah,
Yeah.
because in the Pokemon Go game, you catch those randomly sometimes, and sometimes it's just a random Ditto. Also, I think Natu and a couple others too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
rotates often and changes sometimes. They usually try to make it in Pokemon Go to where like Ditto is behind a Pokemon that can't normally be shiny, but recently they added shinies for like Numel. So and Bidoof has a shiny too in game. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a little bit weird now, but it's still cool.
Yeah. So no, go buy some packs, man. Don't
Very
just
cool.
buy your singles. Go buy some Go packs. Get that Ditto, pill it. It feels good. I don't know what Subin is talking about, man. I was on stream yesterday morning, and I my first pack I opened was the Ditto, and then the Charizard, the Radiant Charizard, and just peeling that Ditto, just it felt so good. Like I peeled it, put the sticker back on, and then repeeled it again, just to do it again.
Yeah,
Nice.
actually, I think I have the sticker on I put it on my computer tower. So there it is.
I still
The
have mine
Numel.
too.
It
I put it on the
reminds
back
me
of
of
a
these
code
old
card.
like vending machine like fake stickers from back in the day, from like the grocery
It
stores.
does. It really does, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It does.
I always thought those were hilarious.
So we asked you a little bit about Pokemon Go already. You told us that
Hmm.
you feel like Mewtwo's not gonna be that great of a deck. Why is that?
Um, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate that it has a dark weakness, not for the reason that you might be thinking of. So I think like the Mewtwo V Union deck is like quite good. And one of the things I think that will actually keep it down from like success at Worlds is just the Flying Pikachu deck, mainly because you can just play Crobat. You're already playing Crobat in there. You're playing like Phoebe to counter the Miltic spam. And realistically, if people think they're going to be a lot of Mewtwo V Union decks, they could just play like, I don't know, a Canceling Clone or like another Phoebe or another Palpat or something. And probably take a very favorable matchup into Mewtwo V Union. So I think for that reason, there's always going to be some kind of like dark presence. And also, of course, like, Mew
Yeah.
is always a thing.
Mew.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of unfortunate. The ability to take big one shots right now is kind of, I feel like Palkia almost fills that role, mainly because I think a lot of if there's a rise in decks that don't fill their bench that give Palkia a hard time, maybe like a lot of Arceus and Teleon decks, maybe Mewtwo could come in as like a way to take cheesy one hit KOs when that deck strategy is to like loop Sharons a lot. But I think most of the time Palkia is going to be the deck that you want to play if you're going to fill your bench and then take one hit KOs, because I don't think Mewtwo can really function without a fairly full bench of any like Lunatone Solrox or Galarian Articunos or even Shadow Riders. So
I think
yeah,
the
we'll
Shadow Rider
see.
build will be the worst. That's probably the worst build, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not that great.
Yeah,
Although
you're putting a 3 prizer target that really doesn't do a lot of damage on its own. under your bench,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't feel good
You're
about that.
discarding the energy, the thing that it uses to make itself stronger, buff itself. You're discarding. So yeah, I don't think Shadow Rider is the best build, but no, I think based off of that that V Star attack, just based off that, I think Mewtwo V Star could have some. It's gotta be something there, Noah. 120 to all your opponent's
So
V's. It's gotta be
so
something there, man.
the other issue with that is, of course, everyone's playing Manaphy because they're afraid of Greninja. I do think some decks might actually start cutting Manaphy, especially I guess like decks that have a lot of V's in play probably aren't playing Manaphy to begin with. So
I've seen
you
a
know,
decline in Manaphy
yeah,
actually. Was there a lot of Manaphy at NAIC? I know you had Manaphy in your deck.
yeah,
Is there a lot
there's
of
a
Manaphy?
lot.
Hmm.
I do
Okay.
think the Greninja thing is kind of like almost bait sometimes. Like as Palkia, sometimes you actually don't want to use Greninja. But I think I would still play it at least in Palkia just because you're so reliant on shady dealings. And if they take if they kill both your Sobbles, you might just not be able to play the game after that.
Yeah, I misplayed and did that yesterday. I've had a Drizzile and a Sabo down. And before that, I had the Inteleon. And I said, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll scoop up the Inteleon, put the Sabo back
Yeah.
down, and then I'll use it next turn. And then so I had the Sabo and the Drizzile. And then my opponent promoted their Urshifu, E-Max. I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I'm stupid. But luckily, they misplayed, so they didn't get the knockout after all. So, okay, good. Good, I'm fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like unfortunate that Manaphy exists and is popular, but I don't know. I still think the card is quite good. I just think it's not going to be like a tier 1 deck for the time being.
What you're
Good call,
thinking,
like
Charizard?
not like it's gonna be like a right place, right time sort of situation. Like it
V-Star?
could be, yeah, it could be
Yeah,
like a
that's what
really
I'm
good
thinking too.
medical someday, for an event where like, okay, cool, people aren't playing Manaphy, I can sneak in with this. There's no dark floating around. Mew VMAXs fell off a little bit. Like it could just come out of nowhere and just pop off, just like how we've seen Urshifu do it in the past, like just out of nowhere, like oh hey, Urshifu's back.
He's
So
back.
we,
Yeah.
it's a powerful
Yeah.
card, the Mewtwo V Star. Like but the attack is able to set up one shots if you can pop it off, and the V Star power is super solid, but just wrong time for it, I think.
That
Hmm.
weakness is, I think that's a big bummer right there. That one is, you're right about the weakness. But
Yeah.
you think you see something going on with Radiant Charizard, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, I played Dark Box at SLC, and just like the idea of having a Moltres that only requires 1 energy and that you can use when they have 4 and 5 prizes like
Yeah, way
taken,
sooner.
seems really good. Yeah. Because essentially you only have to take 2 prizes before they take 4, and then you can
Mhm.
even trade and win the game. So, of course, I actually think, I think it's good, but if I were going to Worlds, I'd probably still be playing Palkia just because I think you can get around that with like, Tool Jammer and then like Path Roxanne, stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
Palkia is just so good because you have so many, like, you can attack with 2 Aqua Bullet Inteleons, in a
Yeah.
game as well. So, if you need, you could probably throw in a third single prize attacker in Palkia and like try to make it work. Just because, yeah, Star Portal is kind of nuts. Yeah, that's yeah, pretty much what I think of Pokemon Go.
You gotta buy some packs, man. You gotta rip some of those things open. You
Yeah,
gotta peel that Ditto. I'm trying to tell you, Noah. You have
yeah,
to, man.
I have some friends that play Pokemon Go, so maybe I can buy the packs and then give them some of the cool like Pokemon Go,
There you
lore
go. There
cards.
you go. Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I wonder how many players of Go will get into the TCG just because of the set. That could be an interesting thing to think about too. Like
Yeah,
people have always
that'd be
just
really
bought,
cool.
like people buy cards just to look at them and collect them or whatever, but maybe now people who've just collected on Pokemon Go like, "Oh, cool, I got to get the cards." And then like that could just be like the snowball effect to get them into it.
Hmm.
And we've
I
seen
wish, but I doubt it, man. I wish.
who knows. I mean, we've also seen the massive hate between the tap
Tap tap
versus
tap
like
tap
Yeah.
Pokemon
tap tap
TCG
tap.
isn't smart at all or whatever. That was a wild
It takes a
ride.
lot more skill, right?
Yeah. It takes more skill than just tap and so on and so forth. So who knows what'll happen with that? But it's cool, regardless.
Yeah, that is, another thing I forgot about Pokemon is it's kind of, you can get into situations where you're thinking about, how matchups play out, and you're like, oh, like I've solved the matchup. You just do this, this, and this. But since, games rarely play out ideally for both players, there's like a lot of skill, I think, involved in navigating the kind of ambiguity of like the mid game, especially with,
Man,
decks like Palkia that have a lot of options. Like there's so many chances for you to do kind of like sneaky, like, outplays that people won't really see coming. So I don't know. I just really enjoyed playing Palkia, and I thought it was I thought it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I will probably be playing it next year, even after Lost Origins comes out, even if it goes down a little bit, just because I'm so comfortable with the deck.
Yeah, I mean, you had one heck of a run. You played really well. To take all this time off and then get back into the game, and then just within half of a season to make top 8 at the biggest tournament of the year, like that's an accomplishment in its own right. So again,
was it
congrats to
1,300
that.
people?
Just
Thank
shy
you.
of 1,100 Masters.
1,100. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And so that's super awesome, honestly. Like that's the dream for so many people, because like people will just like, oh cool, it's an AIC, I'm gonna sign up. I haven't played in 2 years, and like just go and
Yeah.
play, and like that's the dream, man.
My dream is to
Yeah,
stay
it was.
mediocre like I'm doing now and just stay right in the middle. So like if I, when season starts back up, if I go to like Salt Lake City and there's 600 people, if I can finish like 350, I'm satisfied.
You want to at
I'm not
least
terrible.
you want there to at least be 700 players, so the 256 kicker comes in, and you want to be in the top 256 to at least get
No, just
points.
no. Let me just be average. I 300, 300. I'm
All
fine.
right, no championship points for you. All right, ready for some stonks? Gazer,
Let's
you
go.
Yeah.
you have a hot pick?
It's not that hot.
Okay.
It's not that hot. Um, it's actually a card that is played already, but I think well, okay, I have two. I think with Go coming out, it's gonna make this card play a little bit more. One card I see is Pokestop, just came out. If you guys have not got Pokestop anywhere, go grab your Pokestops. Go get them now. Spin your Pokestops. Go grab them. I feel like that's gonna go in I think it could start going in Mew.
Interesting.
I think it could start going in Mew.
I mean, I could kind of see it. I feel like it feels better there than say like when everyone was playing like Tower of Darkness or whatever, just to discard Tower.
Oh yeah,
Like that just felt so bad.
I'll play Tower to discard a Tower. That way, when they play a Tower, I could yeah. But I mean, other than that, okay, what stadium do you play in Mew?
Rose Tower.
It's usually like Rose's Tower, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, draw until you have three. Fine. But I mean, what if I need? What if I have a full hand? I could just discard a few, get a few items, get that Ultra Ball I need, get that um some builds play Pokemon Catcher, stuff like that. Get that quick belt, not quick belt, choice belt.
Oh, what happens when you discard your last Mew VMAX that you need?
But that's a different story. That's a different story. I think it can start fitting in there, and based off of that, I feel as if Pokemon Catcher might see a little more play.
I think it already has seen a lot of play. There's so many different like lists that I've seen of just Mew that have played 4 catcher. Especially at NAIC, my round 1 opponent had 4 catcher in their deck, and it was insane. They flipped ahead.
I'm not just talking about a Mew. I'm talking about it overall.
Because of Pokestop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to worry about like the consistencies of the decks in general that you put those cards in them too. Like, not everything can afford to shove in 4 catchers, and if you play less than 4, it kind of just feels bad because it's a coin flip card at that point. Like,
But if I'm playing something that's
if you play one catcher and you flip tails, like I don't have 3 more on my list to attempt to look for, I'm gonna feel really bad. Like,
time out. Who would play one catcher?
I don't know. I'm like,
here goes.
Like you have to. I feel like that's a card that if you put in your deck, you have to play 4. Like
it's just like hammers. You got to play 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Any of the like high reward, high risk cards, you have to play 4 of them. You gotta roll high.
You know what? I'm gonna build a list with just one Pokemon catcher, just one.
I feel like though with Pokestop, like you have to start putting in. If you're gonna play Pokestop, you have to play Palpad. You have to play Ordinary Rod or Clara or something to be able to recur.
And I feel like those cards are
gonna
be in. Yeah. Well, Clara, maybe not Clara, but I feel like Palpad. I feel like Ordinary Rod. Those are cards we'll see too. But I feel like with the flexibility of just getting, I need to charge something that was, let's say, Melanie, or I need to I need to get enough cards to get an energy to be able to attack, but I also need the boss in the same turn. We have Pokemon Catcher now, and Pokestop can help dig for that. So it's like a go for broke kind of play. You know what I mean? I play my research. I grab the last DTE I need. I can attack, but I need to boss up that thing on the bench. I only have 5 cards left in deck. I know one of them is Pokemon Catcher. I use the Stadium Pokestop. Oh, I hit it. Let's see what happens. So it's a big risk. A lot of luck involved. I see it like a go for broke kind of thing, and I think it could start creeping its way up in the meta somewhere. Maybe not in Worlds. Definitely not in Worlds, but sooner or later, I think it can come up.
So limitless tournaments.
I think so. I think it'll be quite good in these like weird like aggro like Lunatone Solrock kind of decks, where you do want to like dig through your deck very aggressively, like
Dialga
research
maybe.
every turn. Yeah. I maybe I don't know. The Dialga is interesting because yeah, you need to think about like what decks can afford to discard random things, and I think at least Lunatone Solrock, when it comes to mind, like they're probably playing Palpad and they're probably playing
Rods,
what is it, the
Catcher,
no
not
the
Catcher,
Carrier.
rescue
Carrier.
carrier.
Yeah, the carrier.
Yeah.
Rescue
Yeah,
Carrier,
so they can really just afford to discard anything with Pokestop.
Mhm.
And I think Catcher actually fits quite well into that kind of list because like you're probably going to be digging through your deck anyway, so you don't really want to stop and use boss's orders. At the same time, Catcher is a flip card, so like I don't know, maybe we could see Pokestop with like cross switchers, and instead of research, you play
Maybe.
Cynthia or
Maybe.
something. I don't know.
That's a lot of risk involved, but maybe I can see that too. Cross switcher and just maybe I have one in hand, maybe I get one off of this. Maybe I play Caitlyn, put a few cards on the bottom, draw some more. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about adding Egg Incubator to my Reggie, and I was thinking about maybe Pokestop.
I feel like you really just want that Thunder Mountain or Stormy Mountains.
Yes.
Sorry.
Stormy Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
I run 4 of those, but I think I want to add a 5th stadium, man, because Temple Sinnoh's scary. It's such a scary card.
I think Path to the Peak is actually quite good in Reggie's.
Yeah, I thought about that, but it doesn't. I tried it before. It didn't swing any matchups for me. I lose to Duraludon no matter what. There's nothing I can do about that.
I think it's actually good into Palkia, if you play a high path count. So I was looking at the Japanese winning list and from like their nationals, and it was like a Reggie's, right? And a lot of people were saying, oh, the reason why they're playing a lot of path is because of Duraludon, which is true, maybe. But I think like after playing so many rounds of Palkia, man, if you get path turn 1, with that again, like as Palkia, that it's like not a good time because you can't Greninja. If you can't Greninja, you're gonna have bad star portals late game. Like you can't even star portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what usually happens when you get pathed early is like you can't use your training court because if you training court, you have to use star portal that turn because you only have 1 path bump. So then you're not discarding any energies with Greninja. So you have exactly 1 turn where you usually like quick ball away an energy and then Greninja away an energy and star portal for 2, which is not what you want to do against Reggies because then you can't attack with like anything else. So I think actually like Path is a pretty good card. Also like Marnie as well. Like hand disruption is like really good against Palkia. So
I feel like
I don't know.
But I feel like with the Inteleon, you just you path me. Okay, Drizzle, go get my Temple Sinnoh. Go get my training court. Whatever I need.
Yeah, but I guess it's like the idea that if you play a lot of path, like they only have 1 turn to use abilities like in the whole game, which is.
But then they might have to pop it too early, like you said, only pop it for 1 or 2 energy, and then good point.
Yeah, big waste at that point.
Yeah, so I would if you're trying to still play Reggie's, I would encourage you to try high path.
I don't like the fact you said trying to. I will play Reggie. I think
a diehard Reggie's fan.
Yeah, he's addicted.
I think I've played it for like a month now, and I've gone like maybe 15-6 with it. So I'm not gonna stop. I tried Palkia this weekend. It's fine, but I think I'm going back to Reggie for everything else. So I'm not leaving my boys. Those are my guys, man.
Yeah, but definitely suggest the path and maybe like Marnie's as well, because I think you'll find the Palkias, like you do that to them, you like path Marnie, they look at their hand and they're like, patch energy, pass or something, or they'll be like shady dealings and then be like, this is awkward, like I can't really help path right now because I have no energy in my discard. I guess I'll get Irida, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
might need to get a couple paths in there. I play 4-story mountains and one path. I might need to put another path in there.
There you go. For
So when you got a song for us, man, you got something
this is
rising or falling?
nothing crazy. More like a PSA, but trekking shoes is about $1 on average, almost $2.
Oh,
Kind of pushing up there.
I just sold all my trekking shoes for like 25 cents.
Yeah, well, you screwed up.
I sold them to my local guy. I got to talk to him. I got to get them back.
Yeah, they're cheapest listing on TCGplayer before recording tonight was $1, and then if you factor in the shipping cost, you're looking at 99 cents more. So yeah, they're about $1 to $2 on average. And a lot of decks are playing 4 of them if they play them. I don't think you would want to play less than 4 of trekking shoes if you shoved it into a deck. And then that could be like another item card to go with your Pokestop that you suggested. So like you can see 4 Pokestop, 4 trekking shoes,
we're going super turbo.
4 Pokemon catchers, 4 Cram-O-Matics. Like
we're going for everything. I'm flipping all the coins.
We're decking ourselves out. Self-mail for game.
But no, I have 4 trekking shoes in my Reggie. And I have like another, 5 or 6 off to the side. But I sold like 6 or 7 last weekend. Like 25 cents a piece, and I feel stupid.
It's crazy. I mean, like there's so many commons and uncommons or whatever that they push a few dollars a piece. Like look at Drizzile, it's still $3. Those
I thought it would drop with the
those Calyrex decks aren't out everywhere yet though. Like some distributors are delayed from what I've been told.
That's crazy. I see them everywhere around here. That's crazy. I thought it would drop because of the Calyrex deck. You know what's gone up? I guess a little mini song for me. Scoop up nets are like gold now for some reason.
Let me check the value on that one.
I do remember them being quite pricey when I was initially buying
market price is $2.29. Lowest listing is $1.80. So I mean, I've seen them a little bit higher before, and then I've seen them go back down, and then they're coming back up. I think the reason why this is going back up in price now is because it wasn't put in the trainer's toolkit.
True. When you told me that last stream, not last stream, when you told me that last podcast, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
The list of the trainer's toolkit that they just put out is honestly god awful. They've been killing it with everything else they've put out when it comes to like these sort of like
V battle decks, the trainer's toolkit.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot better. But this is a big miss to not put those in there, especially now that like we're not rotating until maybe February or January. Like kind of crazy to think about that.
Yeah, very excited for that rotation schedule actually.
Now we're on par
I thought it was
with Japan basically. So
yeah, I could see them trying to do like global releases for the cards as well. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're technically getting their half of Lost Origin late this month, right? And then we get it technically end of August, early September. So we're not that far behind compared to the old days. And with the rotation, I mean, like there's been so many like times that we've rotated and like missed out like awesome decks because of rotation. Like 2019, 2020, that Vikavolt deck. That never got to shine here at all. So who knows how this will be going forward, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I do think I don't know, my personal conspiracy is they probably don't test like the international format during those like weird rotation periods, which is why I feel like we had such a weird meta game after we rotated in like last August. We had just a random V-Star decks or VMAX decks essentially, where it's like the best deck, and they all felt super clunky and weird. Meanwhile, in Japan, of course, there was like that cool Vikavolt deck, and yeah, like I guess ADP was kept in line by some other cards too. So it seemed like a much more dynamic game until we eventually got like the Fusion Strike stuff.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think, like you said, hopefully worldwide release schedules, or at least like within weeks instead of a month or 2 months at this point. So who knows? Fingers crossed, though. Gazer looks ready to die.
No, just thinking. I'm still not over that whole toolkit thing, man.
It's whatever. I mean, if you think
There's
about it,
escape rope. There's like you said,
trainers
there's cross
toolkits
receiver.
are only good for brand new players. If you're already established whatsoever, you don't need any of that stuff. Like, who wants to pay $30 for 4 booster packs, a brick of energy, and 2 fusion strike energy, two cross
That's
receivers?
and
Like,
that's the problem. If you make it, but if you make it worth it, then it's fine because you get 2 Luminion promos, you get 4 packs. If you did like 2 scoop up nets, 2 air balloons, 2 Evo Incent, 2 Quick Ball, 2 Ultra, stuff like
you're
that.
making me want to make a YouTube video this week that's like scam or not, and we go over the market value of the cards individually versus the trainer's toolkit.
Do it.
You know what? Maybe I will. I have a little bit of
Do
time
it.
since I'm off tomorrow thanks to the holiday. So maybe I will. Maybe I
Scam or
will.
jam.
Scam or steal. There we go. We'll bring it back. Like the old
Oh yeah, that's right.
those old
I remember that segment.
scam or steals from the Twitch streams. Those were hilarious.
He should go. He used to just go to the trade market and just click on random trades. Like, hey, is this a scam or a steal?
And then I would let like the viewers send me
Fun.
trades, and like they were obviously like really bad for me. And I would put a poll up and let them vote, like, is this a scam or a steal? And if it was a steal, I had to take the trade. I lost so many cards and packs doing
no.
that.
Man.
It was funny content. All right, I think
Make
we've
that
hit.
video, man. Bring it back.
I
man.
think we
Bring it
hit
back.
everything we need to hit. Noah, do you have any last words that you want to talk about or anything like that?
Do we have any questions from the pod?
Oh yeah,
from the
before
chat?
we get to
questions.
the Q&A, just to make sure that we've hit all of our bases.
Yeah, not really. I think pretty much hit everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely
All right.
open to Q&A now.
Yeah, let's do it. Gazer, do you want to take the first one?
Okay, so this comes from our boy X10gram. Shout out to X10gram over at twitch.tv/X10gram. What was your game plan leading into NAIC?
Yeah, I guess I'll take that as like showing up at the tournament. What was my game plan? Okay, my game plan was beat all the mirror matches I face because I thought there were going to be a lot. Avoid Blissey because I knew the matchup and I knew it was like winnable, but I personally hated playing against it. So, and then play to all my outs and like never give up in any of the games. And then on the flip side, realize when I was hoping a little bit too much and making sure I scooped early because back when I played, there was no best of 3 Swiss, so I didn't have to worry about that, at all. But that's definitely a thing that, I was trying to keep in mind was figuring out, okay, if I don't top deck something here, I'm just going to like concede and go to game 2.
It's crazy to think that we used to play best of 1 at regionals and stuff like that. Like it's insane to think that. And like I get it for time for like cups and challenges, like the stores and the TOs don't want to be bothered too much, but honestly, I wish they would just shift into best of 3 and just force people to play a little bit faster to get there.
I mean, you
I didn't
got to.
know that.
I'm learning this now. You have to kind of judge. Is this winnable? Do I keep going through it, or do I just scoop and go to game 2 or 3 to try to, make sure I don't get tied or make sure they don't win. I'm learning that stuff. I play pretty slow because my brain don't work so good. I'd be stupid. So I play pretty slow at times. It's not just I'm trying to slow play. I'm processing and thinking. I told you this before, Stu, but I have a line of thought, line of process. My turn, next turn. I mean, their turn, my next turn. I know what I want to do, what's going to happen. I have it figured out. Okay, they're going to attack me. This is I have it all figured out. And then when I top deck my next card, everything reroutes. I'm like, just off one card. I don't know why it's like that. I've been in matchups where I take one knockout and guys like, okay, let's scoop and go to game 2. I'm like, really? It's one knockout. It's only one problem. But just they know it's gonna be a long match, or they know they have to try to at least win game 2 to move on. And it's tough to judge that, man. You're exactly right. That's the one. That'd be like Wild Wild West out there, wouldn't it? just gunslinging. Whoever could hit each other with a stick first. Whoever wins just moves on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that was just how it was. Yeah. Tournaments were a lot faster though, and I was not as mentally drained after 9 rounds. Yeah.
All right, next question. We got a goofy one. This one's from Nixter. Who's craving a Big Mac? Not me.
Well, now that you mentioned it, now I am. I am pretty hungry now. Thanks, Nixter.
I'm a fan of the Big Mac, so haven't had dinner yet. Sounds pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
So Nixter, 2 of us are. The third person is not.
I'm not a fan of the sauce. You give me one without the sauce, then sure, whatever, it's fine. But I'm really craving this stir
What about
fry.
that third bun? That third bun. What about that third bun? No.
That's so many carbs, man. I'm already fat. We
All
ate
right, I
like
got a question.
monsters yesterday, like because it was her birthday. Between the ice cream cake and she wanted Dairy Queen food for lunch, and
Dairy
then
Queen?
we had hothead burritos late at night. So yeah,
You guys went to Dairy Queen?
we did. Yeah.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I know you have bad
When I
luck
was
with
in
Dairy Queen.
when I was in Sacramento, I tried to go to 2 different Dairy Queens. It didn't work out.
Oh.
No, was there a Dairy Queen around you over in the Bay?
I don't think so. I think of Dairy Queen when I think of Pokemon actually, because back in the day when I played in Kansas, that's where I grew up. There was a Dairy Queen by the store. So oftentimes, like after tournaments, I go to Dairy Queen for dinner with my dad. So
Awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Dairy Queen sounds quite good right now too.
I
Now
think
I want
of
Thanks a lot.
there you go. Yeah, I think of Arby's because in Ohio there was a TO again AJ. He did a lot of Arby's Pokemon leagues and tournaments.
Oh, I feel like I heard about that on Twitter.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
people like
Arby's?
playing in an Arby's or
Yep.
like the Arby's
You guys are
parking
playing in
lot after
Arby's?
the
Just
store
okay.
closed.
Yeah. They did cities in an Arby's, and Arby's closed, and people were playing on top of cars to finish it out.
That's hilarious.
Very fun times,
On the
honestly.
hood of a car, just
Yeah,
okay,
and then like the dead of winter because cities were like
Yeah, cities were in the winter.
cities
Yeah.
were in the winter, so like Ohio Midwestern winter, like it kind of snowy and blustery sometimes.
That's
So
dedication, man. I'll just take my top 8. Like, I'm top 8. I'll drop. Move on. You got it.
yeah.
I
Can I
just
get a
oof.
beef and cheddar with a curly fry? That's my consolation prize. Oh, all right. Gazer, next question's for you. Take it away.
Okay. Um. Okay. This is from Anti-Loader. Ugh, anti. He says, Noah, why are you the GOAT?
Hi, Anti. Thank you. I just got lucky. I played a very good list. I didn't realize it was that good until like round 5.
So you're in the middle of round. You're in the middle of your game round. Like, wait a minute.
This deck
This
is
is cracked.
busted.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
This is
because
good.
I don't think I said this, but I didn't when I made all those like Japanese influence changes. I didn't test the deck at all. It was like 11 p.m. I'm like, all right, I'm making these changes. I told my friend
You
Nate,
said
who
you
was
woke
also
up
playing the
early.
deck.
You said your friend from Japan woke up early. Was able to
Yeah,
get the list for you. I mean, get the article for you, and just off that you're like, okay, here we go.
yeah. I read it. I
Wow.
changed like 6 or 7 cards. I told my friend Nate, I'm like, okay, we're changing these. He was kind of like shocked, but he's like, all right, they all make sense. And then we went to bed, woke up, and he was like, should we play a few games? I'm like, I feel like that's bad luck, in the morning before the tournament. Like, you're gonna draw horribly, and then you're gonna start feeling bad about like your deck, and you're gonna change stuff. Just don't think about it. Just show up. Of course, like I lost my first game. I won the match, but I like started pretty bad in the mirror. Like I looked at my hand, it was like Roxanne Boss and like 2 cross switcher. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I think after about round 5, I'm like, this deck is when it gets going, it really just kind of wins. So yeah,
It's the sauce.
We're not talking about Big Macs right now.
Oh,
We're talking about the
God.
deck.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and,
the
and,
sauce,
and the
baby.
Arby's. I think
It's the
we're
sauce.
all hungry apparently.
All right, let's wrap this up and get some food. Stupid, you got the next question?
Yeah, I think they're all kind of jokes at this point. So I guess we'll just hammer
We
these
got
out.
some memes.
We'll rapid fire these. This one's from Blaze Kicks. Do hollow or full art cards taste better?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
would assume a full art because it
Gazer,
has like that
can you
texture to it.
can you try it for us?
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
Okay, so does Radiant Charizard, does that count as like a full art? maybe?
Yeah. You can peel
It's
that
got
one.
that same texture.
That also
Yeah,
ties
hold
into the next goof question here from Anti. Gazer, peel that Charizard. There might be a Ditto.
on.
So you
I didn't know
could
it's-
peel the Charizard and then eat it. Think of it like peeling a banana, or an onion.
I'm gonna get this graded. You guys better get out of here with all that. I'm getting this card graded.
All right, and the last question isn't really a question. It's more of like a statement from Pasp, as always. Paspentute. Here we go. Free Gazer.
I agree. 100%. I agree. Thank you, Pass. Answer your question. Yes, free gazer.
Oh, I thought you were $1.
I think that's all our Q&As. That's all the questions, right? Are we missing anything,
that's
Stu?
it. We did it all. This
I gotta go
point
get
in
a Big
time,
Mac.
the fireworks are starting to blast outside, so we definitely got to go before it starts picking it up in the mic. Happy 4th of July weekend to everybody in the U.S., even though things are a little bit weird right now. But just try and remain positive. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't be idiots. If you're listening to this while it's the 4th of July for whatever reason. But at this point, the floor is yours, Noah. Any shout outs you want to give? Any props, thanks, last words, final thoughts, any of that kind of stuff? The floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely. I guess like shout out first like Team Torchic in Japan for that crazy article. My brain expanded 100-fold after I read it. So definitely, if anyone's interested, go take a read. Shout out, I guess, Team Stealth Shampoo, like Nikki and Nate for testing with me and giving me cards. And yeah, everyone I stayed with in the Airbnb, like Grant, Gabe, everyone else. It's nice meeting everyone, and yeah, hope to see you all at the next big tournament.
Awesome.
Wait, you said Nikki gave you cards, Stealth Shampoo? You just gave them to
Yeah. Well, I mean, he lets me borrow them sometimes.
Okay. I got to talk to him about that. That's unfair.
Oh, God.
But no, any way we can reach you on Twitter or anything like that? Or do you have anything you want to plug real quick? Anything else?
Yep. I'm Yoshi_TCG on Twitter. So yeah, give me a follow if you're interested. I probably won't be posting much besides like lists and tournament results and stuff. But occasionally if I, have a spicy take, I might go to Twitter and tweet about it.
We'll have the link.
Any streaming in your future
We'll
one
have
day?
the link for that in the description of the audio episode as well as the YouTube video, so make sure you click that down below.
Definitely. My last question to you, any streaming in your future one day?
Streaming. If the startup I'm working at does insanely well and I'm able to comfortably retire, I would definitely love to do Pokemon TCG full time. I'm definitely not brave enough to just jump into it right now. Maybe if I keep doing well at tournaments, it'll give me a little bit more of a push. But yeah,
if I can do it and I'm an idiot, you can do it, man. And you're way smarter than me. I'm an idiot, so you can streaming's easy.
Yeah, if you've never seen a Gazer stream before, you're in for a treat.
I will say this mic is not mine. I'm borrowing it from a friend. So yeah, normally don't really have much setup going.
Buy it off of them. It'd be worth it, trust me. Now, if you ever start streaming, man, I'll be there to check it out, man. But yeah, you're an up and coming player. I mean, you already were a great player, but now you're back. You're on the way back. Is what I mean. So I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for. Hopefully, I run into you again in some 1Ks. Even though you kind of brushed me off at the first one, you kind of didn't say anything to me. Like, who's that guy?
No, actually, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, is that the? I think like maybe Nate was like, oh, I think that might be like the Gazer Beam guy. I'm like, oh, he's famous.
The Gazer Beam guy.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, Azul's here too. I was like, oh boy, like, there are a lot of.
Yeah, I was talking to Gabe, and Gabe was like, yeah, I'm trying to get Azul to come. So for like 2 weeks, I bugged Azul on his stream. I'm like 1K, Fresno 1K, Clovis 1K, 1K. So he showed up. So then see him, Liam Kidd, Gabe Smart, and apparently you're a busted player too. Thinking back on it, that 1K was pretty stacked. I'm happy I finished. See, so that's why I said if I could finish 300 at a 600, 700 person tournament, I feel fine. All those stacked players and such good players, I could finish right middle of the pack, right where I'm doing right now. That's okay. I would hate to go to like a regional and finish like 650 out of 700. You know what I mean?
No way. You got this. I believe in the day too.
I'm sticking at 300. That's fine. Let me finish right down the middle. At that 1K, I finished 26 out of 52nd. Out of 52, I mean. So right in the middle, I went 2-2-2. I'm so average, no. I'm such an average player.
I went 3-1-2, so I was like maybe 1 or 2 spots out of you.
But no, thank you so much again, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, good talking to you. Thank you for coming on. Super insightful. I appreciate the knowledge drop, especially with the Japanese team information. That's really cool. I like to hear stuff like that.
Team Torchic,
yeah.
Correct?
Yep, Team Torchic. Yeah. Maybe I'll send you guys the link too if you want
awesome.
to include that.
Yeah, definitely. But that'll do it from us this week here at the Gust of Win. Again, thank you, Noah, for joining us, Gazer. I love you, but I hate you.
What did I do this time?
Nothing yet, but you'll do something.
It's true. You're not wrong.
Thank you for everybody listening on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Apple, Google. Make sure you leave us a review. If you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it live on stream. We still haven't gotten one yet. we're waiting for that day that we can get that 5-star review to push this podcast. If you're watching the YouTube video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ask questions in the YouTube comments. I'll do my best to answer through. Gazer sometimes goes on there. But yeah, that's it. Gazer, take it away.
Yeah, you guys, that's it. Gus win episode 15, correct?
Yes, 15.
Okay. Yeah, last week threw me off, man. Episode 15. We had Noah Yoshida. Guys, thank you for tuning in, for listening, for watching. If this is on YouTube, yeah, happy 4th if you're celebrating that over here in the States. Stupin, thank you for all the busted work you put behind the scenes, man, everything you do. And we are out of here. Gus went out. Peace.
See ya.
Thanks for having me.